welcome back out on the homestead. So glad you could join us. See behind me, my truck's loaded up with a bunch of stuff. Our intention is to build a Cat Avery, a safe spot for our cats to be outside. Anyway, most of that material's in the bed of my truck. Got the ladder on the roof. Got to get it unloaded. So let's get to it. These are 1x2 furring strips. They use them for roofing, for setting shingles, that kind of stuff. Even the metal roofing, I think they use them for that too. We're going to use them for uprights and crossbars for the cat pen we're building. We're using these because they're cheap. They're like $1 something a board, and they're lightweight. The pen doesn't have to be heavy duty. I don't think we're in danger of any big giant critters trying to get in there. We just want to keep out the feral cats and raccoons and possums, that kind of stuff. So we're going to use these. We've also got some plastic garden netting for the roof, keep birds from coming in there. Big birds specifically bothering our cats or whatever. It's specifically designed for that, so it should work just fine. Again, it's lightweight, and it was pretty inexpensive. I forgot to mention, we're going to sink this 7-foot T-post on the corner of the garage, so we don't have to tie this pin to the garage itself. That way we don't have to put any unnecessary holes in it. And the rest of it will tie to the fencing, and we'll just have to see how our plan works out. You can see things in your head, but it's not always what comes out in the final result. So, pliable, that's what we are, we're pliable. Still need to finish loading the truck. I got sidetracked earlier looking for tools that I'm going to need to build this pen, and it's because we just moved everything out of the garage into the shop. So everything that's in the shop is still in disarray. So I'm having trouble locating some of my tools. That's normal for me anyway, even if they have a place to go, because I'm really bad at putting things back where they belong. I tend to get to the end of the job and I'm like, I'm done, and I walk off. But we bought some more fencing and some other stuff. I need to get that out so Brenda can continue her job today. I know. This camera's like way wide angle compared to that. It also has horrible voice stuff. But I'm going to keep talking on this camera anyway, even with the horrible voice stuff. Brenda will fix it. She just wants me to talk more. Talk more, work less. There's a concept there. Anyway, this big box that I just got out, or first box I just got out. Oh, by the way, sorry for the backside shot. I don't know how else to film it. Anyway, this big box is the cat house. So it's a 2-story cat house we're going to build and put right outside the RV for Eclipse to go in, and possibly Freddie when that time comes too, to hang out. We'll put a couple of cat warmers in there and that kind of stuff. And hopefully they can enjoy it and the other critters won't. That's worked so well so far. So let me get that unloaded and over to the RV. Next on in the back was the extra fencing panels we bought so that we can complete the circle around the RV area. Well, left something in the back of my truck I forgot. Kind of the most important part. It's the chicken wire for the pen. I can put up all the studs and all the uprights and stuff I want, but without something to keep the critter's out, it doesn't work very well. Well, you can see behind me that we're gathering quite a bit of this stuff. Now this isn't cardboard right here, but it's an insulator. My daughter, she orders all her beef and pork on from local farmers, local ranchers, and she gets her meat locally. It's a nice way to support your local farmers. Anyway, when it gets shipped to the house, it's all packed in dry ice and has these insulating panels inside the box. Quite an ingenious deal. But we're just going to add to this pile for now. Now this here is an important tool for driving fence posts, especially those heavy T-posts. This one's fancy. I went and got it from Tractor Supply. They don't give them away, I'm just saying. Years ago, my dad wanted to put in a bunch of fence posts, so he had just started learning to weld. So he got a piece of, 4-inch well casing, about 1/4 inch thick, and some 1/4 inch thick flat stock and pipe, and he made one that looked like a T. Now this one's heavy, it's 23 pounds. Okay, that's not heavy, but when you're slinging it over your head, it can be. His was about 45 or 50 pounds. And it was really long, so to get it on the post, you had to lean the post over, slide it on, and then stand the whole thing up. So there were some definite calculation issues there, but boy, could that thing drive some posts. Just saying.
There's no chicken wire on the building.
Yeah.
There's only roof.
Yeah.
So is that dumb? Do you think that all that empty spot was where they were supposed to go?
Maybe. Well, that camera's not recording anything. It came untied, it was laying on the ground. I don't know if it just did it on its own or some sneaky critter untied it. Clearly we need to do some figuring, get this all figured out. So we'll come back to you when we get our plan together. Alright, we're going to use some of these trees we cut down for our cat pen project. We're going to use them for sturdy end posts and also center posts so we can raise the roof, so to speak, so that I can walk in there. The T-posts that we have are just they're all like 6-footers, 7-footer. So when you beat them into the ground, they end up about 4.5, 5 feet. So not quite tall enough for me. And rather than use the posts that we have purchased for our fence posts instead of using those, we're going to go ahead and just use some of these trees we've cut down. Recycle, so to speak. So let's get to it. But I do have to make sure there's no thorns on them when I take them over there. Pardon me. So I've got the little mini saw. We'll make sure all the thorns are off of them or anything sharp's off of them before we take them over. I'll probably have to get the post hole digger and punch holes in the ground for them so that they end up being sturdy. I don't think I can just like pound them into the ground. Some of these are very long. They'll have to be cut. The first one I did might be enough for 2. We'll see. All right, well, after further consideration, we've decided that those posts, those tree limbs, are just too big for the job we need. We'll use them somewhere. That one especially is 15 feet long. That'll make a nice beam for something. And then the other one over there, I'm going to bring it back too and stick the stuff, 2 inches in diameter or so. See what we can find. We'll get them cleaned up. We'll use those. Okay, let's see how these fine specimens will do. They're not very straight. To get them straight, you got to go really big. And big's just not going to work. So I think they'll add some character to it. Now we just got to see if we can get them in the ground. One of the worries we have out here on the homestead is the freezing temperatures. If it gets down to 30, 32, 29, it's not a big deal. The coach is insulated enough that I don't think there'll be any problems as far as water lines and that kind of stuff goes. We could leave the heater on, the furnace on, as low as we can go while we're not here, but that's a pretty big expense when it comes to propane. So what we've done in the past, not here, but we were in Colorado several years ago, and it was -7 for a couple of days, and everything started freezing. So what we wound up doing was we went out and bought one of these little ceramic heaters, and we plugged it in and put it in the water bay, which is the bay where the pump and the lines and all that stuff are. So I think that's what we're going to do, because over the next few days it's going to get down to 12 degrees. One called for 7 degrees, and the high is going to be in the high 20s. that's when you get a hard freeze and you could have some real issues. So going to put this little ceramic heater down in the water bay. I won't turn it on while we're here because that's a waste of time. We're running the furnace now, and the furnace does dump. It has a heating dump down into the water bay to protect it. So we don't need it on right now, but I am going to set it up in the bay and plug it in. There's an outlet in the electrical bay right behind the rear tire. And yeah, right behind the rear tire. Sorry, brain freeze. So I'll just run the cord into that bay and I'll plug it in, and then before we leave tomorrow to go back to the city, we'll turn it on low. That'll just keep some warmer air circulating down there. We have insulation as well into there, but I would just feel better if we had a little bit of warm air circulating down there so that we don't get the possibility of exploding water lines and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Might have to get an extension cord. Yes, I will. I'll be right back. Okay, now we'll just see if it works. Okay, it's blowing some hot air. We sure want to thank you for watching us out on the homestead. Thank you for sharing your time with us. We really appreciate it. We have a lot of fun making these videos. And we've gotten quite a ways in a year and a half. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Share it with your friends. We'll see you next time here on the homestead. Thanks.